Welcome back to another video, and today we got episode 5 of NBA Playoff Watch. We took an off week last week, but we are back to our normal weekly routine. Speaking of routine, if you're new around here, make sure you click that subscribe button because on the channel every single week, college basketball videos every Monday, college football every Tuesday, and NFL every Wednesday, as well as, of course, what you're watching right now every Thursday. We also do MLB content when that season is going, so if any of that interests you, make sure you go down and subscribe. We're trying to hit 200 subscribers here close. We're real close, so just want to hit it soon. Yeah, I'd greatly appreciate it. It would be a nice little Christmas present, if you will. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and get into the Eastern Conference standings as it stands, as it is right now. The Cavs still at the top, surprising. They got a 1.5 game lead over the Celtics right now. Now, I've been saying this, I feel like every video. Do I expect the Cavs to finish first? Probably not. But at this point, they're the best team in basketball. I mean, the way they've been playing, the offense is looking very fluid. I mean, this is as good as of a start as you can draw up if you're a Cavs fan. I mean, I think I had the Cavs finishing like fourth at best preseason, maybe fifth, maybe even sixth. Donovan Mitchell's doing solid. I mean, they're spreading the ball around. Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell all averaging over 18 points a game. Ty Jerome's been very good for the Cavs off the bench, averaging 11 points a game. I mean, this is just a very complete, very well-built team, and they're winning games. I mean, two of their losses have come to the Hawks also. So, I mean, and I believe one of the other ones might have been to Boston. Um, don't quote me on that, but I mean, definitely the Cavs are looking very solid. They also just beat the Celtics earlier this not this week. I think it was last week. It was recent-ish. They did just beat the Celtics, so the Cavs still holding on to that one seed. The Celtics just right behind them though, and I mean. You look at the Celtics, there's really not any negatives. Kristaps Porzingis is coming back, so they're going to continue to get even better than they already were. We expected the Celtics to be this good. They're at 21-5 right now. The Knicks kind of clawing their way back up here. They started off a little shaky. They're 16-10. Obviously, you'd like to be doing a little better than that, but in the East, I mean, it has them at the 3 seed right now. They do have the Magic and the Bucks right behind them. But Karl Anthony Towns bringing him in. We kind of expected this. The defense was going to take a hit, but the offense was going to improve, and that's kind of what we've seen. Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby both averaging 17 points per game. Hopefully, Mikal Bridges can kind of get at least somewhat of what he was back to like when he was on the Suns, where he was kind of a defender first. Now, obviously, he's going to need to score the ball. But if he can really just round it out, because, I mean, you look at what he did on the Suns, he was a DPOI candidate. Then getting moved to the Nets, he really had to step up scoring the ball wise. If he can combine both of those two, I think Mikal Bridges can be, all-star caliber. So, I mean, he already arguably is. So, Mikal Bridges looking very solid right now, but definitely I think he needs to improve a little bit defensively. You look at the Magic here at the 4 seed, it's kind of impressive what they've been able to do. I mean, with no Paolo Banchero, now Franz Wagner going out, I mean, the Magic are down their two best scorers. Jalen Suggs has stepped up for them. He's averaging 16 points a game. Paolo's only played 5 games this year. The Magic, I think they're one of the prime, contenders for Zach LaVine at this point. I think he would really fit in there well because he brings shooting. He brings, more guard play for them. I think he fits right in with the Magic. He really just ups the ceiling of the offense because the defense is already one of the best in the league. You could argue the best in the league. But yeah, being down their two top scorers, the fact that they're at the 4 seed right now and 17-11. I said this. I'm not sure if I said it last episode or just talking to one of my friends. But I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Magic finish as the 2 seed in the East. Now I'm not so sure about that anymore with the way the Bucks have been looking recently, with the way the Knicks are kind of figuring things out. The Cavs still maintaining at the top because I kind of expected the Cavs to slow down a little bit. But I said I wouldn't be surprised end of the year if the Celtics were the 1 seed, the Magic were the 2 seed. Now at this point, I'm not sure about that just because being without their two top scorers, it's going to be a little tough. They already struggle offensively a little bit. But yeah, they're still doing very solid. Speaking of the Bucks, they're right here at 14-11 after the very, I mean, we all saw it. It was a terrible start. They go out, win the in-season tournament. By the way, they're 8-2 in their last 10. Probably the hottest team in the league at this point. And the Bucks are playing their best basketball right now. They just blew out the Thunder in the NBA in-season tournament. They did just beat the Magic as well in the in-season tournament. So, I mean, you look at the Bucks. Giannis is once again averaging crazy numbers: 33 points a game, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. I believe that leads the league, if I'm not mistaken. Damian Lillard, 26 points per game. By the way, he did just sign a life-term deal with Adidas, so congrats to him. I'm sure he's very excited about that. But that's besides the point. The Bucks are looking a lot better. They're here at the 5 seed. The 6 seed Heat. It's kind of the same thing with the Heat. Not to that much of an extent. I mean, the Heat are looking better. With all the trade talk around Jimmy Butler, where is he going to get shipped out to? Is it going to be the Warriors? I've seen a whole lot of different places. Are they going to trade him? I honestly don't hate the move. I think the Heat. I mean, do they? I don't know if they will pull the trigger on a deal though. Just because I mean, the Heat are always a team that want to compete. I don't see the Heat going into full rebuild mode, and trading away Jimmy Butler doesn't necessarily mean they do that. I don't know. He's had a rough start to the season though. Tyler Hero, on the other hand, probably playing at an all-star level right now. Bam Adebayo's getting better recently. The Heat are kind of starting to figure things out now. Is this sustainable is the question. I mean, they did just lose to the Pistons earlier this week. Now, we'll talk about the Pistons here shortly, but we'll see with the Heat and all the trade talks. The Hawks at 14-13. I actually kind of like what I'm seeing from the Hawks right now. Trae Young doesn't really have to do everything for once offensively. I mean, he's averaging 22 and 12. But Jalen Johnson and DeAndre Hunter both averaging 19 a game. I mean, they're giving these guys both way more looks than they gave to Javon. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm struggling right now. They're giving both these guys more looks offensively than they gave to DeJounte Murray ever, which is kind of crazy. But, yeah, the offense looks very solid. I mean, this is one of the best offenses in the league. They're averaging 116 points per game as a team. That's got to be towards the top of the league. I mean, I still worry about the defense a little bit, but that's always what you're going to get with the Hawks. With the Pacers, that is what I said a whole lot last year. This year, kind of the opposite. The offense has really slowed down. I mean, you can kind of blame that on Tyrese Halliburton. He's only averaging 18 a game, 9 assists. Last year was at, 26 and 13, something crazy like that, maybe 24 13. Benedict Matherin's averaging 17 points per game, so I guess that's something to be excited about. TJ McConnell's still there doing his thing. They've had a lot of guys, not necessarily in the starting lineup, but off the bench, have been very injured. I don't know. I mean, the Pacers did make the Eastern Conference Championship, or the Eastern Conference Finals last year, so it's kind of hard to say that they won't figure it out. I think they will. I mean, Pascal Siakam's still doing good for them, but I don't know. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's got to kind of step it up a little bit. The Bulls at the 9 seed, they're 12-15. I think it's very likely Levine and Vucevic are gone at the trade deadline. I think it's very likely Lonzo's gone at the trade deadline. I think they just go full rebuild mode here with Ayo, Kobe White, Josh Giddey. Is Patrick Williams going to be there? Who knows? I think they got to give some more looks to Matas. Buzelis, he's definitely, crucial to this rebuild if they are going to go into full rebuild mode, which, again, I could see them very well doing. Just kind of let Kobe White lead the team. I don't hate the idea. I mean, I've stood by this since, all this talk been saying. I mean, there's no point in being in a 9-10 seed every single year. I mean, this is where the Bulls have been for the past, 3 years in a row now? maybe 2 years in a row. Um, and I mean the year before that, before this past couple of years of making the plan, they got first rounded as the sixth seed. I believe that was 2022. So yeah, if you're the Bulls, I mean I am a Bulls fan. I think just trade everyone at this point. It does hurt to say that, but I think that's what I personally would do. That's just kind of my thinking. I mean, there's just no point in being the 9-10 seed every year. I mean, you got teams like the Pistons on the come up. The Sixers are starting to put things together a little bit. The Hornets, the Bulls are just fading at this point. The Pistons at the 10 seed. The Pistons actually looking somewhat decent. Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey together look very good. Both of them. I mean, Cade is averaging 24 points a game. Jaden Ivey's averaging 17. They bring in Malik Beasley. He's averaging 16 a game. Let's look at his 3-point percentage if I can find it real quick. Just kind of out of curiosity, let's see. Yeah, 41%. So, I mean, they brought him in. He's doing exactly what they asked him to do. Yeah, this team's actually looking pretty solid. I actually like what I'm seeing from the Pistons. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pistons get into the play-in. I don't think they'll be a top 6 seed, but with the way they've been playing recently, the Pistons actually very impressive. 11-16. Who would have thought after that just disaster of a season last year? But I mean, this is how you do a rebuild. You stay at the bottom for 3, 4, 5 years. It's gonna suck, but I mean, hey, the Nets finally get rid of Dennis Schroeder. I've been saying this. They trade him to the Warriors. Averaging 20 points a game. I mean, it's good to just get off him. I mean, they were winning too much, if we're being honest. The Nets are trying to be a lottery team. They have their own first-round pick. Yeah, honestly, overall, that's what I've been saying. I'm glad they finally did it because the Nets. I mean, if we're being honest, there's just no real path for them to do anything in the postseason with this team. So the fact that they were winning that many games, you got to trade Dennis Schroeder. He was, at the peak of his value at that point. The Sixers at 8-16. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Obviously, a lot better than they have been doing. They've won 3 of their last 4. They've won 4 of their last. They've won 4 of their last 6. Yeah, I mean they're getting healthier. I just feel bad for the Sixers. I mean, Embiid's only played 6 games this year out of 24. Tyrese Maxey has only played 18 games out of 24. Paul George has only played 14. The only real bright spot for them was Jared McCain, rookie, comes in averaging 15 points per game. He looks very promising. Then he tears his meniscus, and now I believe he's out for the year. Just tough stuff. The Sixers, I still believe. I mean, you look at the team on paper, they're better than the Pistons. They're better than the Bulls. I think you could argue they're better than the Pacers. If we're doing this on paper, I think you could say they're better than the Hawks and the Heat. I mean, at the very least, they're the 6th best team in the East. I mean, you could argue on paper they're better than the Magic. You could argue they're even better than. I mean, I don't know. That might be pushing it a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. The Sixers should definitely be way higher than they are. I think you could go a whole lot of ways with the excuses, mostly just injuries, though. I think they'll be fine. The Hornets at 7-19. LaMelo Ball continues to shine. Brandon Miller continues to be very solid, averaging 22 a game. LaMelo Ball also averaging 30. This team looks very promising. Again, this was my sleeper team coming into this year. I had them finishing as the 10 seed in the East. Wouldn't be surprised if they get their way in there. I mean, they're only 3 games back, and there's a whole lot of season left to play. The Raptors at 7-20. Honestly, worse than I thought they'd be. I don't hate it, though. Scotty Barnes has missed a lot of time. Emmanuel Quickley's only played 3 games this year. They've dealt with some injuries as well. RJ Barrett's looks solid, though. He's averaging 24 a game. Grady Dick's been really good as well, 19 points per game. But I don't know, this team just, in all, isn't very good. And then the Wizards, the worst team in the league, 3-21. I mean, they are this year's Pistons. They were pretty much as bad as the Pistons last year, and this year it's just an absolute train wreck once again. Yeah, I guess a bright spot. Bilal Coulibaly looks really good. Um, that's something to get excited about, I guess. Alex Sarr, in the 22 games he's played, averaging 11 points per game. I guess there's that. I don't know. There's not much to get excited about, though, for the Wizards. Moving on to the Western Conference side of things. The Thunder still at the top. We know the Thunder. I mean, they're just a ridiculous team. Shea's averaging 30. This is just a dominant team. 20-5. Yeah, one of the best teams in the league. You could argue the best. The Grizzlies at the 2 seed. Kind of surprising looking at this one. Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. both averaging 22 a game. I mean, on paper, I mean, you look at the top guys, they're not averaging crazy amount of points, but you look at the team as a whole, the team is averaging 122 points per game. The offense looks really good. We know how good they can be on defense. This team's looking like an all-around very strong team. I mean, they look really deep. Scottie Pippen Jr. has played 27 games this year. He's averaging 10 points. He's played all 27 of their games. Marcus Smart's been in and out of the lineup. Same with Zach Edey. But when they've been healthy, they've been very good. So the Grizzlies definitely back to form after the injury-riddled previous season. The Rockets continue to stay at the top of the West. Very surprising. I mean, I don't think anybody thought the Rockets would be up here. And I mean, you can credit this to Ime Udoka. You can credit this to Jalen Green, Sengun being one of the best centers in the league at this point. Amen Thompson looks really good. Jabari Smith Jr. I mean, this is a very young team, and they're all kind of blossoming together. So I like what they're cooking in Houston. We'll see if they can continue that. The Mavericks also at 17-9. Luke is averaging 29, 9, and 8. I mean, that's just a Lucas stat line if I've ever seen one. Kyrie Irving's been solid. Klay Thompson, P.J. Washington. Honestly, you watch them. I don't know. The Mavericks haven't looked great from when I've watched them, but they're 17-9 and the 4 seed in the West, and we know how good the West is. So I feel like the Mavericks are still like, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I don't know what it is. They just don't look all that good to me, I guess. But they're winning the games. I mean, they're a half game out of the 2 seed right now. I feel like if the Mavericks really start clicking, I mean, I guess they are, but I feel like they're holding something back. I don't know. I feel like the Mavericks, like I said, haven't looked all that good to me from at least like the few games that I've watched. Because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been able to watch very many Mavericks games. But yeah, I don't know. The Nuggets at 14-10. We've seen the Nuggets in the play-in recently a lot. They're out of the play-in, only by a half game. They've got 4 teams a half game behind them. They also have a team 1 game behind them. I mean, that just goes to show how deep the West is. You look at the Nuggets, I mean, I think we talked about this last episode. They have the best offensive rating in NBA history when Jokic is on the floor. They have the worst offensive rating in NBA history when he is off the floor. So yeah, the Nuggets really just relied on Jokic. They don't have any depth. I said this going into the year that could be a concern, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Nuggets are here, but yeah, the depth definitely concerning. The Suns at 14-11. I believe Bradley Beal has missed some time here. If I'm not mistaken, I might be, but I'm pretty sure Bradley Beal has missed. Yeah, he's only played 15 of their 25 games so far. So has Durant also. Devin Booker's played all their games. He's averaging 25 a game. He's looking very solid. I don't know what it is. The Suns look better without Bradley Beal. I mean, he's been good this year too. Maybe it's just off of eye test, but he's averaging 18 a game. He's definitely not playing bad whatsoever. But just seeing recently, I feel like what I've seen from the Suns. Maybe just because they're playing bad teams. I mean, they did just play the Trailblazers. Uh, Before that, they did just play the Jazz. So again, maybe it's just that. I don't know. The Suns are at 14 and 11. I could definitely see the Suns being a top 6 seed, finishing at the end of the year. I could also see them being a play-in team, though. Uh, the Timberwolves at 14 and 11. The Timberwolves finally figuring things out. I said this; they probably were eventually going to figure it out. I mean, they were out of the playoff picture for a long time. They're finally back in here at the 7 seed. Again, I think they'll be fine. Just kind of getting used to it. The Warriors falling 2-8 in their last 10. Not great whatsoever. They started off the season very good. I'm pretty sure they were the 1 or 2 seed in the West at the start of the season. And they've definitely fallen off a cliff. Maybe Dennis Schroeder can bring some life back into this team. Maybe they bring in Jimmy Butler. We will see. But as of right now, the Warriors are at the 8th seed. The Clippers, one of the more impressive teams so far this season. I mean, you've had no Kawhi, and they've looked very solid, and without him. I think that's just a great sign. I mean, you watch James Harden; he's looking not obviously nowhere near prime Harden, but he's showing some flashes of it. He's averaging 22 points per game, 8 assists, 6.5 rebounds. He's been very good, kind of sneakily, because nobody's really talking about him. Same with Norman Powell. Really, really, the Clippers in general have been one of the sneakier teams coming in or so far this season. The Lakers definitely, you got some concerns with LeBron kind of slowing down. What is the real ceiling of this team? Are they going to try to make some moves at the trade deadline? I mean, the real question is, like, what are they going to do? I'm very interested to see, because as of right now, you have LeBron, and you only have LeBron for so long. You got to maximize that. I've seen some rumors he might be going to the Warriors. Obviously, I'm not gonna believe that. That is just a rumor, but I have seen it quite a bit. Could that be happening? That would be just legendary if that happened. That would actually be insane. Yeah, that would just be crazy. But yeah, the Lakers just narrowly in the play-in, only a game ahead of the Spurs right now, who are at 13 and 13. Stephon Castle looks really good. Wembanyama, obviously. Devin Vassell comes back. He's been playing pretty solid. They've got a nice young team going. Chris Paul's really doing his thing, facilitating the offense, averaging 10 points, 8 assists, kind of what you asked him to do. I've been very high on that move since it happened. The Kings just outside. You look at the Kings, there's definitely some question marks in the offense. I mean, they're scoring a lot of points. The problem is De'Aaron Fox and DeRozan just shoot too many mid-ranges. They're not really getting a lot of paint touches. They're not really getting a lot of three-pointers up, which is weird because you got guys, Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray, but I don't know. It's just the offense just looks a little bit concerning. They are, right there though. They could definitely figure it out. I just think they need to get more three-pointers up. And then the Trailblazers and the Jazz, really nothing to talk about here. We expected these two teams to be bad, and they are bad. The Pelicans at 5 and 22. What do you do here? I mean, I know they've been the most injured team this whole season. I mean, you guys have seen some of the lineups. It's just terrible. I mean, some of the starting lineups that they've been pulling, they've been getting retired players to come back in, sign with the team, and then start the next day. I mean, they're just as injured as you can be. I mean, at this point, in the West, they're going to have to claw their way all the way back. How realistic is that, even when they get healthy? I mean, this might, at this point, just be a lost season for New Orleans, as sad as it is to say. I hate to lose hope, because we are still very early in the season, but it's going to take a lot. And they're still not even healthy, also. Let's move into the playoff predictions, though. Starting in the bottom left with the Western Conference play-in. Timberwolves versus Warriors. I'm going to take the hotter team right now. Give me Minnesota. I'm going to trust Anthony Edwards, although I will say Curry in a winner go home. I guess it's not a winner go home game yet. Um, so yeah, give me the Timberwolves. I think they're a little bit more balanced, complete team. Clippers versus Lakers. I think we had this one last episode, and I think I picked the Clippers. I'm gonna take the Lakers this time. I don't know. Again, it's so hard to just not trust LeBron and AD, but they have looked so bad recently. I don't know about this one. Either way, whoever wins this one, I'd probably take the Warriors. Again, Curry in a winner go home game. I know the Warriors have been one of the coldest teams in the NBA recently, but Curry in a winner go home game, that's just not what you want to see. I'll take the Warriors over the Lakers. At this point, I just trust their team more. Moving on over to the Eastern Conference, playing the Hawks versus Pacers. This one's pretty clear to me, surprisingly. I'm going to take the Hawks. I think they've been playing a whole lot better than the Pacers right now. I mean, I'm really liking what I'm seeing, what they're doing offensively. The Pacers, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I mean, they used to be a fast-paced team. Now they're trying to be slow. It's just not working. The Bulls versus Pistons. Interesting game. I did kind of praise the Pistons a little bit. They've been playing very good. I'll go ahead and take the Bulls. Either way, kind of similar with the West. I'd probably take the Pacers over both of them. I'm still gonna give the Pacers the benefit of the doubt because we've seen what they can do last year. But it is a new year. I mean, it gets to a point where you got to take what you're given. I understand that. If we're being honest, though, all three of those teams have a tough matchup, I'll say, in the first round. Moving on over back to the West, first round matchup here, Thunder versus Warriors. If you're the Thunder, you don't want to play. I'm assuming you don't want to play the Warriors. That's always never an easy beat. I think they do get it done though. Just the way they've been playing. I mean, SGA I believe is leading the league, not leading the league, but he is somewhere at the top in scoring. I think he's leading the league in MVP voting right now. Yeah, the Thunder are just crazy good. The Mavericks versus Nuggets. Like I said, I've been watching the Mavericks. They don't look great to me. I mean, they look good, but I feel like they're not at their highest potential. And the fact that they're a half game out of the 2 seed right now, and I'm saying that it's crazy stuff. I'll take the Mavericks. Again, I just worry about the Nuggets' depth. I mean, you could argue they have the best player in the world, and I'd probably agree. That's definitely, an argument you can make. But the Mavericks have, if not the best, arguably the second best player in the world in Luka Doncic. So give me the Mavericks. I think they're the more complete team. The Rockets versus Suns. This would be a very interesting series. I'm going to take the experience. I know the Rockets have probably looked better overall this season, but I am going to take the Suns. It's hard to go against Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. But I mean, this experiment, the KD and Phoenix experiment, really hasn't led to anything yet. So maybe I'm delusional, but for still believing. But I'm gonna take the Suns. And then the Grizzlies versus the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are looking like they're figuring things out, but I am still gonna take the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies just look crazy deep. I mean, the depth just looks amazing for them. The offense looks really good. The defense, the Grizzlies are just looking back to form at this one. I'm very high on the Grizzlies once again. I'll take them over the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are still kind of figuring things out here after moving on from Cat. Definitely a huge loss. Moving on over to the East, I'll take the Cavs pretty easily over the Pacers. The Pacers just have not looked good to start out the season, plain and simple. They're 3 games under 500. Give me the team with the best record in the league in the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, if this series was, last week's episode, I'd probably take the Magic. But the fact that Franz Wagner has been out, they're without their 2 top scorers. The Bucks did just win the in-season tournament. They are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. I'm going to take the Bucks and Giannis. Giannis, I believe, is leading the league in scoring. You can't slow him down. I mean, plain and simple. So, the Magic, one of the best defenses in the league, but I am going to take the Bucks here. I mean, they're just so hot right now. The Knicks and the Heat. Both these teams kind of been playing better as of recently. I'm gonna trust the team. I mean, this one could go either way. I'll take the Knicks just because Jalen Brunson and Cat offensively have looked amazing. Jimmy Butler still not looking, very good. I know Tyler Hero's been good. I know Bam's getting better. But yeah, Jimmy Butler's still definitely a big question mark there. How is he going to is he going to get better this year? We'll see, but I am going to take the Knicks as of right now. They're looking to be once again one of the top contenders in the East. Celtics versus Hawks. I feel like I've been praising the Hawks a lot. I am very high on the Hawks. I mean, watching them, they looked really uh, fluid offensively, but I am going to take the Celtics at this point. I mean, it's so hard to not pick the Celtics to just win every single series, if we're being honest with ourselves. Moving on over to the West, a rematch of last year's Western Conference, what do you call it, semifinals? Um, yeah, in a rematch, I actually like the Thunder's chances here. I think they get their revenge. I think with the way SGA has been playing, this team will have more playoff experience under their belt. I'll take the Mavericks here. Again, I feel like the Mavericks are holding something back. I feel like they're not playing to their full potential. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm just wrong. But I don't know. I'm gonna take the Thunder though. I think at this point, the roster that they've built, even with no Chet Holmgren, with no Hartenstein, and they're still, what are they, 20-5? Ridiculous. Looking at the bottom half of the West, the Suns versus Grizzlies. I'm gonna take the Grizzlies. I love their depth. I love what they're doing on both sides of the ball. I'm gonna take the Grizzlies to the Western Conference Finals. Haven't seen that prediction in quite some time, but I am gonna take them here. They're looking really good right now. Really strong team there in the West. The Cavs versus Bucks. These are two very tough series in the Eastern Conference. I feel bad about this one. I am gonna take the Bucks. Um, Again, it's just so hard when you have Giannis on your team to not pick them. I understand the Cavs have looked like the best team in the league so far, but the Bucks again are probably the hottest team in the league right now. I mean, they're racking up wins. They're looking a whole lot better than they started out the season to be. I think there's a good chance the Bucks finish as a top two seed in the East. I think the Bucks are locked back in. I think they figured it out. Whatever was going wrong, I'm gonna take the Bucks there though. But again, it is extremely close. The Knicks versus Celtics. This one is close as well. I don't think it's as close. I think the Celtics are they're just inevitable. I feel like I say this every year, but you look at this roster. I mean, Porzingis is just now coming back. The fact that they've been one of the best teams in the league without him, and now he's coming back there, it's only going to make them better. I mean, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday. I mean, this team is Al Horford, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard. I mean, it's just a ridiculous team. I mean, the way that they're built is just. I mean, I just really can't even. I don't know. This team is ridiculous. I'll take the Celtics to the Eastern Conference Finals. Um, and then in the Western Conference Finals, the Thunder versus Grizzlies. As much as I have been praising the Grizzlies, I'm gonna take the Thunder. This was my preseason NBA champion. SGA is looking like the MVP favorite as of right now. Love to see that. He's one of my favorite players. Jalen Williams has looked amazing. Lou Dort. I mean, this team's defense is just off the charts. I mean, and offensively too. Again, this is just an extremely well constructed team. For that same reason, I'm gonna take the Celtics. I love what the Bucks have been doing recently, but I do have to stick with the Celtics. They're the fact that the Bucks are so hot can only get them so far. I'm gonna take the Celtics. So that sets up an NBA Finals matchup that I've been predicting since the preseason. The Thunder versus the Celtics, and I've picked the Celtics recently in most of these. I'm gonna switch it up. I'll take the Thunder here. And the reason is SGA is just looking amazing. First of all, second of all, I worry a little bit about the Celtics rim protection. That's what's kind of been brought up when a lot of people talk about the Celtics. I think it will get better. Porzingis is just coming back in, but as of right now, with that being a problem, I'll go ahead and take the Thunder to win the championship. They were my preseason team to win it all. I mean, like I said, coming into the preseason, this team is one of the best offenses in the league and one of the best defenses in the league. Now, I know you can say that about the Celtics as well, which just makes this matchup even harder to predict. But I'll go ahead and switch it up. I'll give you guys something different. I'll go ahead and take the Thunder because, like I said, I mean, I've been saying the Celtics are this flawless team. There is a little bit of a flaw there, protecting the rim. Um, no, I do expect them to figure it out though. But I'll take the Thunder to win the championship. But that is going to do it for episode 5 of NBA Playoff Watch. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you go on there, leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Like I said, we're trying to hit 200 subs by Christmas. If not by Christmas, that's fine. Just a little bit of a goal. We are cutting it kind of close, so I understand if we don't hit it. Not going to be, all upset about it. But that is going to do it. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on the noties. College basketball every Monday. College football every Tuesday. NFL every Wednesday. And NBA every Thursday. Links in the description as always. X, Twitch, TikTok, Discord. Make sure you follow those. Join those. With all that being said, I will see you guys on Monday with another college basketball Power 40 rankings. Thank you for watching.